Welcome. Today we're doing a deep dive into a challenge that, well, it really impacts just about everyone involved in schools: chronic absenteeism. And look, this isn't just about truancy in the old sense. It's become a systemic crisis. Just think about this number. Over 14 million students in the U.S. missed 10% or more of school days back in 2021-2022.
That's staggering.
It is, and it hits everything: learning, school funding, equity, and honestly, a student's whole future. So our goal today is really to unpack why the usual ways of dealing with this often don't cut it. And we want to explore strategies, especially how technology can help, that actually move the needle.
And what's fascinating, I think, is that this pushes us beyond just compliance. It's about building a whole different culture around attendance. If what we've done in the past hasn't really solved it, the big question becomes, well, how do we create an environment where students genuinely want to be present?
Exactly. That's the core question for every school leader, every administrator, even parents. Why don't so many attendance plans work? And here's what's really insightful. The data suggests most fail because they're, well, often too punitive or they come way too late. But maybe most importantly, they seem disconnected from the actual reasons a student is absent.
That's absolutely spot on. We see so many efforts just miss the mark because they don't look at the whole picture. They ignore things like mental health or, transport issues, maybe a poor school climate, or even big family responsibilities.
Things happening outside school wall.
Precisely. And there's research from Attendance Works that actually shows punitive approaches can backfire. They can increase disengagement, especially for students already facing barriers. It sort of pushes them further away.
Okay, so if punishment isn't the answer, and we need to understand these diverse root causes, what framework helps schools do that? Address it holistically?
Yeah, this is where something like the multi-tiered system of support, or MTSS, really comes into its own. Widely recognized, very effective.
It focuses on personalization, prevention, and critically, partnership. It gives schools a flexible, tiered way to approach support. And the real power of MTSS is its focus on relationships and building that positive school-wide culture right from the start.
Right, building that foundation first. So MTSS provides the structure, but how does a school actually, put this into practice day to day, especially with lots of students? Where do you begin?
Well, it really starts with Tier 1. That's your universal school-wide prevention piece.
Okay.
This means actively fostering a positive school climate where every single student feels valued. Things like making proactive welcome calls to families before school even starts, or maybe celebrating most improved attendance instead of just perfect scores. It sounds simple, but these are strategies that build connections. They create that sense of belonging.
That makes sense. It's proactive, not reactive. And then I suppose when you do start seeing patterns of absence emerge.
Yeah, it's exactly where Tiers 2 and 3 come in, providing more focused support.
So for students missing, say, more than a handful of days, a quick, focused Tier 2 response is key. This could involve using an early warning system.
Like a tech tool.
Yeah, often an automated tool that flags students by looking at attendance, grades, maybe behavior trends, trying to catch issues before they escalate. Or it could be mentorship programs, pairing a student with a trusted adult, someone who can sit down, maybe meet with the family empathetically, and really try to uncover the barriers.
And for those students facing the biggest challenges.
Right. For the most vulnerable, maybe missing 20% or more school. That's Tier 3. This is intensive wraparound support. It means really collaborating with community partners, maybe local housing agencies if transportation or housing is unstable, or coordinating care closely with social workers, mental health professionals. The absolute goal is always support, always re-engagement, never just discipline.
Okay, managing all these individual supports, Tiers 2 and 3, for potentially many students, that sounds incredibly complex, keeping track of it all.
It is complex. And that's precisely where modern data systems and technology can make a huge difference. They lighten the load and sharpen the focus. Well, knowledge is power, right? Modern student information systems and SIS, or these dedicated attendance platforms, they help shift schools from just reacting to being proactive. Think about using, say, the notes and logs features within a system like DreamClass. You can use those to spot the early signs of chronic absenteeism. You can build these really detailed student profiles, pulling together academic data, behavioral notes, social context, all tracked automatically. A system like DreamClass also lets you track those Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions meticulously.
So you know what's being done and if it's working.
Precisely. And then you generate these data-rich reports. Those reports become invaluable for informing discussions with staff, with families. This kind of system enables really precise, targeted support. It helps predict and prevent, not just react after the fact.
It really paints a clear picture then. Effective attendance intervention, it doesn't start with punishment. It starts way earlier with prevention, building connections, showing compassion, and using smart technology to support all that. So whether you're leading a brand new private school or maybe a growing micro school, it really feels like time to rethink how your team is tackling absenteeism.
Which really brings up a crucial question, doesn't it? If you're still maybe relying on spreadsheets to track all this, what crucial insights are you actually overlooking? What stories are hiding behind those numbers that, if uncovered, could genuinely transform your school's entire attendance culture?